What is up? What is up? And welcome back to another episode of Blood and Beer, the show where we talk blood sport and we drink beer. I'm your host, Matt, and as always, we got some blood sport to talk. We got some beer to drink. We're going over UFC 307. We got WWE Bad Blood coming up. Close to 100 subscribers now, so pumped about that. There's some problems with the PFL we're going to get into today, as well as Battle of the Giants coming up and Bellator. They had a canceled card. We'll go over all of that in just a moment. First, the beer that we're drinking on today. We got Founders Mortal Bloom Hazy IPA. Pretty cool looking can. Found it at the gas station. And it's real alright. It's real alright. So yeah, we're getting close to 100 subscribers, close to 100 videos also, or 100 episodes. Appreciate everybody that supported me this far. First, we're going to kick things off. WWE. I don't talk about this much on the channel, but I love it. They got Bad Blood coming up this weekend. Roman Reigns teaming up with Cody Rhodes. A lot of things going on there. We don't know if Roman's going to betray Cody. They're taking on the new bloodline. Is he going to align with his old family, or is he going to stay with Cody and take him out? Is Cody's friends going to betray Cody and come out and just gang up on him because he's teamed up with Roman, who they all just laid it all on the line to help him get the belt from? I don't know. It's going to be an interesting match. Then you got Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley going for the women's world title. And Dominic Mysterio, maybe. Who knows? That's going to be a fun one. And then you got Drew McIntyre and CM Punk going at it again. And that's been one of the best long-term storytelling feuds in a while. So it's going to be a great PLE. I can't wait for it. That's on, I think, Saturday. I'll have to double-check it, but that's going to be great. I'll probably have to watch the replay because we got UFC 307 also going down this weekend. We already did a pick'em show, so this is just a quick overview, preview of the card. I'm so excited for it. It's happening tomorrow night. Today, if you're watching tomorrow, that makes sense. This card is stacked, though. A lot of the talking heads in MMA media, they're talking how it's just not a very good card. It's weak for a pay-per-view, and I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I mean, it's stacked with names. It's stacked with matchups. You got two title fights. You got Poatan versus Roundtree. You got Pennington versus Pena. And then you got two-time Olympic gold medalist Kayla Harrison, two-time PFL champion Kayla Harrison. She's taking on Caitlin Vieira, the number 2 ranked fighter in her division. You got Jose Aldo making a comeback. Kevin Holland's on the card. Wonderboy Thompson. I mean, big names all over the place and good matchups too. So those guys saying this card's nothing, this card sucks, they're out of their fucking mind. It's going to be a banger. And I don't know if you saw the press conference for this, but it was pretty awesome. You can tell Kayla Harrison, she's in the entire 135 division's head. They're all not wanting to fight her. Caitlin Vieira, she's up there, has nothing to say about Kayla's skills, but she says, "You're ugly," talking on the mic, and Kayla's just like, okay. Then Juliana Pena, who has a title fight coming up, she chimes in, starts talking shit to her, starts questioning Kayla Harrison's resume. As the two-time Olympic judo gold medalist, as the two-time PFL champion, she stopped Holly Holm in the second round. I mean, this girl's done it all already. And for Pena, who's 10-5, to be talking shit about her resume. I mean, she's got that win against Nunez, but it's not a win against Nunez. Nunez just has a loss against Pena. She gave it up. It was just, Pena ain't shit. You can tell all these girls don't want a piece of Kayla Harrison. Her time's coming, and they know it. And I guarantee you, after Pennington and Pena fight, they're going to get on the mic, and neither of them are going to call Kayla Harrison out. They're going to ask for Nunez, or they're going to ask for someone else. They do not want Kayla Harrison getting this belt, but all they're doing is keeping the seat warm because Harrison, her time's coming. Then Jose Aldo, he's looking to turn back the clock again. He's going against Mario Batista, and I love Jose's odds in this. He's a plus 125 dog last I checked, and he absolutely waxed Jonathan Martinez, just fucking washed the dude, beat the shit out of him. After a 2 or 3 year layoff, switched to boxing for a while. He looked great. His boxing combinations are insane. The body work he throws, the leg kicks, they're back. Batista's a beast. He's got volume. He's got wrestling. Just the dudes he's fought, they don't hold a candle to Aldo. They would never even be considered to fight Aldo. It's going to be a good fight, but Aldo's getting the win in that one, I'm telling you. And then Pierre Roundtree. That's a fucking banger right there. I mean, 2 of the heaviest hitters at 205. Both have just insane power. Pereira's on this crazy streak. Roundtree's on a 5-fight win streak. Again, another guy whose resume doesn't really match up, but he's got that knockout power. I don't see it. If it took you to round 3 to knock out Anthony Smith, I don't see you beating Poatan. I don't see it happening. But I did throw some money down on him just because the plus 350 odds, when it's a knockout win guaranteed by one of them, you got to throw the money down. So our pick'ems, we'll run through that real quick from the previous episode, and I'll put a link in the description so you can go check that out if you want to see the picks and the breakdowns, how I got to these picks. But we got Court McGee, we got Carla Esparza, we got Lucindo, Roman Dolidze, Jose Aldo, Wonderboy, Raquel Pennington, and then Khalil Roundtree. We just threw a little bit on because we're not too confident in that one. But yeah, check out that pick'em episode. I'll throw the link up in the description. That's what we got for UFC 307. You want a deeper breakdown, go check out the other video, but it's going to be a great card. I can't wait for tomorrow night. All right. Now we have the PFL and all their issues. They continue to suck ass and look bad while doing it. So Bellator, part of the PFL family, they had to cancel a card in, it was going to be in November, Bellator Paris, headlined by Apache Mix. Just canceled it. Don't tell us why. Just say, hey, we're going to reschedule it or get these guys in on another date. Just continue to be super unprofessional. No idea what the hell they're doing with Bellator. No one cares about Bellator, but sheesh, manish, my guy, get it together. I mean, just horribly run business. They seem so incompetent over there. You got PFL President Don Davis. He's calling out Kayla Harrison, saying the reason she left PFL is because she's running from fights with Pacheco and Cyborg. She'd absolutely dog walk Cyborg. I mean, Cyborg's a beast, but she's old. Kayla Harrison would dominate her. And Pacheco, the only reason she lost is because she overlooked her. She got bored by beating up all the cans in PFL. She's already beat Pacheco once. She'd beat her again if she took it serious. She's not running from anyone. That guy is a moron on that take. And continuing my war on PFL, continuing to shit on him, PFL has gone to absolute shit. Hell in a handbasket, you might say. And it's the leadership. They have 3 rosters. You got the PFL tournament roster, which that's what they should be focusing it all on, and they're not focusing on it near enough. You got their super fight roster, which is just their pay-per-view fighters pretty much, which nobody gives a shit about PFL pay-per-view. Nobody's buying it. And then you got the Bellator fighters, which is weird because sometimes you'll put them in the tournament and then they'll go back over and fight on the Bellator card and then they'll fight on a PFL card. They're not sure what they're doing with them because they're just run like shit. I know they have to keep Bellator open for a year per the contract when they bought it, but geez, sheesh manish, my guy, get it together. Don't have a clue what you're doing. And I don't know if you knew about this. October 19th, they have a pay-per-view with Francis Ngannou. He's taking on Renan Fiera. And if you did hear about it, you probably didn't hear about any of the other fights on it. It's a dog shit pay-per-view. You got AJ McKee taking on Paul Hughes, and you got Larissa Pacheco versus Cyborg. I mean, that's not a pay-per-view. They're going to want $50 for it. They're probably going to do less than 50,000 buys. Most of their buys are going to be from MMA guys that have to buy it so that they can report on it. But God, this is where they went to shit. When they switched to this PFL pay-per-view model, they have this great idea with the tournaments, and then for the longest time, it was tournament, all free. Finals, free, because nobody's paying to watch PFL. Now they have tournament, free. Finals, pay-per-view. And a Francis Ngannou card, pay-per-view. Nobody's buying pay-per-view from PFL. Nobody cares that much about the PFL fighters. They're already on ESPN. They need to stop doing these tiny money grabs for 50,000 or 30,000 pay-per-view buys that they're getting. What they need to do is go back to the free model. Forget about these super fights they want to put on. Get the best of the best that they can. Put them in the tournament. Expand the tournament if you have to. Make it a year and a half long. Make it a super interesting thing where you got actual good fighters in it instead of signing these guys that are retiring from the UFC or get cut from the UFC, paying them a shit ton of money to fight once a year on your pay-per-view at the end of the year. You're out of your mind. I mean, Shane Burgos, when was the last time dude fought? I mean, Derek Brunson came in, one fight. You got Ray Cooper on their roster. He had one fight this year. All these guys are paying a shit ton of money to not do anything, not move the needle. It doesn't do anything for them. They're wasting money on it. I hate it. And their production, it's horrible. You got 10 minutes after the fight ends, they do the fight interview in the octagon. So these guys are sitting there, adrenaline dumped. They're just exhausted by the time they get interviewed. They don't know what they're saying. You got hot mics when it's supposed to be commercial on the ESPN Plus, because instead of doing what UFC does, where they on ESPN Plus they put up a screen that says your event's at commercial break, we'll be right back, and it's scrolling across the screen with a couple pictures. PFL just leaves the hot mics on. shows you the entire arena, lets you hear Tyron Woodley and Randy Couture talking shit about fighters. It's fucking weird. And then they fix the tournament almost so they get the people they want in the finals, in the final four. I mean, you look at Dakota Dicheva, she fought absolute nobodies to get there. Who was it the year before? Kayla Harrison, they did the same thing for her and her lead to the finals every year. And they tried to do it with Clay Collard one year, and they couldn't really get it done. I mean, they do it with these guys they think are going to be stars, but if you think they're going to be stars, put them up against some beasts and let them really showcase their talent. Because when you go out there and you look fucking amazing, but then people find out the person you fought's 4-3 or 4-4, who gives a shit? It's a terrible model they have going on right now. They need to get it together, shrink it back down, stop paying these guys a shit ton of money, have a huge roster, a huge tournament, make it interesting, make the season fun. I don't know. If you're listening, PFL, Don Davis, I think you need to resign. Give me your job. I have better creative ideas. I think I'd run the organization better, get rid of all the fat. Ngannou's not moving the needle for you. You might get 50,000 pay-per-view buys, but people don't give a shit. Look what happened with Ngannou and Fury. I think it did 60,000 pay-per-view buys. That's Tyson Fury. That dude's moving the needle. Ngannou's a beast. People love him, but UFC fans aren't going to want to tune in to watch him fight Renan Ferreira. And if he gets knocked out, then what? Then you guys are just absolutely screwed. You're going to say Renan Ferreira is the best in the world because everybody knows that's not true. He's big. But Francis hasn't fought MMA in like 3 years. It's something else. I don't know. PFL is such a mess. I can't get enough of just every time I watch it, I find something else wrong with it. The only announcer they have that seems like they do that does any work to learn the fights or learn the fighters is Sean O'Connell. He's a beast. Give it to him there. Randy Couture gets on there. Some days he's on it. Some days I'm just like, what the F is this guy saying? Sheesh manish, my guy. I'll drop it right there with the PFL. I'll stop talking about it for now. But we got some fight announcements before I let you go. We got Carlos Pratis versus Randy Brown. Fighting Nerds versus Randy Brown on UFC 309. That was just announced, as well as Jim Miller. He's making his comeback versus Damon Jackson. It'll be his 45th Octagon appearance. That's happening at UFC 309 as well. Damon Jackson, very winnable fight for him. Both are good grapplers. Jim Miller's got that jiu-jitsu. It's going to be a fun fight. Both are a little chinny, but Jim Miller seems to have he cracks now. He's got a lot of knockouts lately. Other than that Bobby Green fight, which was a war, he was cracking him at the beginning. I like that fight for Jim Miller. I like it a lot. And then over in PFL on the Battle of Giants card, another thing you probably didn't hear of, Johnny Eblen versus Fabian Edwards. That is going to be at PFL Battle of the Giants for the Bellator Championship. So to add some more confusion to this whole mess that they have going on over there, they're defending Bellator belts on PFL cards. That would make sense if you did it the whole season instead of doing these Bellator Champion Series. Main event, Bellator Champions fight. Everything under is the tournament. That'd be great. But you're doing it on a pay-per-view on the undercard. You're having a championship fight on the undercard, and I don't even think it's the co-main event. So is this going to be a 5-rounder? What are we doing? I mean, God, I hate the PFL. I love the idea. I loved it in 2021. 2022, you kind of lost me when you moved to that pay-per-view model. You lost Kenny Florian. You lost your analytical guy. I don't know. I'm going to stop rambling about the PFL. And that's all I got for you today, honestly. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to check out Bad Blood this weekend, UFC 307. Shit on PFL. Send a message to Don Davis and tell him Matt from Blood and Beer needs to be running your promotion. And thank you everybody that subscribed, commented, liked, shown me any support over this time. We're getting so close to 100 subscribers. We might try to do a little tiny giveaway when we get there. I don't know. We'll see. But I appreciate you. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Let me know what you're looking forward to, fights that I missed that have been announced recently, or what you think is going to happen at 307. Is Pereira going to defend his title? Is Roundtree, is he going to pull off the upset of the century? There's a lot of upsets that happen in Salt Lake. We had a Kamaru. He lost to Leon Edwards last second. Dustin Poirier head kick knockout by Justin Gaethje when he was the favorite. A lot of weird things happen in Salt Lake, so we'll have to see. But yeah, that's all I got for you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Matt with Blood and Beer.